What was your first reaction to this material when you got it and realized that one of your co-stars was an elephant?
It's exactly what I wanted. I had, after a few junkets and things, people tended to remember me from these really bad guys. You know, and I said, you know what I need to do? I need to do a Disney movie. And I'd heard about I need to do Dumbo Drop. It's about an elephant. And it got, it's Disney, how, kind of get it off. So I kind of wanted it. I kind of pursued it.
Did you feel that you were being kind of typecast or something? Or?
No, I just had a lot of people hadn't watched all the movies, is what it is, because Dominic and Eugene, Karina, Article 99, they weren't really that successful. Karina was, but people hadn't known me for some reason. They just remembered the bad guys tend to, thanks a lot, have a tendency to stick out, I think, more than the nice guys.
Something Wild was your
Something
was your breakout.
That was my first movie.
So do people remember you were the baddie from that, and maybe that's why.
Well, to tell you the truth, what's interesting, it's not so much the public, it's more you guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess a lot of people don't do their homework or whatever, so they would ask pretty inane questions, and it was just amazing that people whose job is movies weren't aware. But then again, there's so many actors, and how many movies can you see? I mean, I think you guys see enough. Right now, every weekend you guys are out here. It's a lot of traveling. You must get a lot of free trips.
Well, we're radio, so we don't live in LA.
Oh, well, there you have it.
So what was it like working with the elephant, or did you really get to do a lot of time?
At first, it scared me because right before we got there, someone was killed in a circus with an elephant, so it was pretty intimidating. And then you see this huge creature with a lot of beauty, but all you see is the power that they have. So it was a little scary. So I would keep going back every day to get used to her, and then by the end of it I was picking lint and grass off her trunk so she would look pretty for the pictures. Yeah, you just tend to bond with. It was just a beautiful creature. It's just amazing to me that people would shoot them and kill them for no reason. It's just staggering when you see how beautiful they are. It's just amazing what people do.
Scientists talk about how elephants really have individual personalities and appear to display emotions. Did you observe any of that?
Well, I wish that she did a little more, to tell you the truth. I wish she showed a little more emotion towards me. One thing I would consistently do is, when I work a lot, I like to drink coffee, and she would know my coffee breath, because so I would always be blowing at her trunk, and that's how you would get her trunk up. And then I would consistently every day go to say hello. I would say it in the same voice because I really wanted her to like me. But it's not, it's not like a dog. They don't. Even Gary, the trainer, was telling me, I was hoping that she would wag her trunk or her head or jump up and down when, but that doesn't happen. They're a little too mellow for that. And they're one of the few animals that you could train without having to do it without rewarding. There's you just through repetition, but you don't always have to give her a piece of fish or banana or something to perform.
You were talking about people's perceptions of you as a bad guy, but you're still kind of the heavy in this film. You're still the, I don't know if it's a good cop, bad cop kind of thing scenario in this film. You're not. Yeah, you're the heavy.
No, he's the lovable grouch.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not sure heavy's the right.
Okay.
How would you describe it?
Well, how would, yeah.
Well, I mean, I took it, as much as it's a comedy, I just took it serious that my mission, what I say on the bridge, I think stands true, is, my job is to make sure that everybody is safe. And to me, moving an elephant and endangering people's lives at first seemed like a pretty silly thing to do. As much as I'm a gung-ho soldier, you still want you're a better soldier when your people live. That's the ultimate warrior, is one who does their job, comes out alive, and you accomplish your mission. Well, to me, to move an elephant through the jungles in the middle of a war, was a dumb thing. It's kind of like, I was kind of like the parent. Your mother and father, they yell at you, but it's for your own good. Well, that's I don't think I was like a heavy as much as a lovable rogue.
What do you think about the setting of a comedic children's film in Vietnam? Do you think that it's something that perhaps their parents might not be real inclined to want to take them to, because it's like, how can we go to a movie that's set in Vietnam and find something to laugh about? Or do you think that this movie might have that kind of maybe prejudice to overcome?
No, as much as why take a movie to see a bunch of dinosaurs that are going to scare the heck out of you coming after you. I mean, I didn't look at it as, if anything, what I think without getting into a political debate, the intentions from what I see and what I've learned from, let's say, Jim Morris, who was there in Vietnam, was that we went over there to help people. That that should have been, that's the reason why one goes to war, and then you have to understand what are the reasons to do it. But basically, I think we would like to think that we went over to save these people from the evil, dark forces. Where it shows, I mean, there is a reality in life that there is war. Why does it happen? I mean, you can't not have your kids live in a vacuum and not be aware of some of the things that happen. We went over there to help people, and most of the movies about Vietnam, it shows the horror of war, which rightfully should be shown. It shows the reality of how things are, but we went over there to help people, and this is something that hopefully that movie will show that. I don't know if it's too much of a dichotomy, a Disney movie and war. It's pretty much the spirit of what we show, that we were there to help people, and we just so happened to help an elephant. It's a true story. I mean, it's a reality.
What were some of the drawbacks of making a movie in the jungle from actors?
None. There's none. When you really think about it, all right, so you're in a foreign country, so you have to eat food you're making a movie in Thailand about an elephant. Like, what could be more fun? I can't buy this. Oh, how tough it is anymore. It is. It's tough. The hours are horrible. I mean, again, it's not. I mean, I used to play that game. A lot of actors. It's not. It's a great job. It's a great job. You're in the jungle. Yeah, it's hot. So what? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it's just a different perspective on life that I'm getting, but.
That comes to you all of a sudden?
I'm developing it, as you grow older and you're making movies, man. So there's none. You could turn around and say that, it was hot. You had to drive an hour and a half to the set. How whiny that sounds. I just can't. There's no drawbacks. It was just fun.
Did you like the country? I mean,
the country. See, that's it's 99% Buddhist. So you see a whole different mentality of people. Maybe a little Buddhism got in. I don't know. You have to. They're very accepting of the situations. The country itself. Bangkok is horrible in terms of pollution and traffic. Have you ever been there? It's unbelievable. How long ago?
Actually about 10 years ago.
So probably then it was bad. Now it's even worse. It's just amazingly horrible in terms of that. In terms of that's probably the worst thing. The traffic jam was horrible. 4 hours to go across town, literally. But when you get there, you get such good bargains for jewelry. So there's a trade-off. It's true though. You got some really nice stuff there.
Did you know much about Thailand and Vietnam before?
No, not really. I was in high school just as Vietnam was ending. I think I got into the lottery and then the war was over. So no, I didn't know much about it at all.
Do you have any background on the people?
Thai food I knew.
In high school, was that when you discovered your thespian talent?
I got into it in college. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was just going to take regular liberal arts in college. I didn't even want to go to college, and decided to go and take liberal arts, but there was math and history and things that I had just said, if I'm going to choose to go to college, I'm not going to choose to take something that I didn't like and wasn't very good. And so I decided to take theater just because I had a theater class and did a play once. I thought it would be fun, until I decided what I really wanted to do, and I just started liking it.
Was there somebody who took you aside and said, "Kid, you've got talent," or did you have to discover this yourself?
No, I mean, I had teachers that showed an interest that took time with me, and then, you start getting, I started out the first year just doing musicals. There's just chorus parts in musicals, and then you start getting the leads, or bigger parts, and then you get the leads. And then I did a play that was sent to New York. I went to school at the University of Miami, and I got cast in, I consistently would start getting better and better parts. And at that time, you're very influenced by reviews, and luckily, I got some nice ones. So there were little seeds of encouragement planted along the way.
Did you find that, did it allow you to blossom as a person? Like
No
you were a
question,
certain person
definitely.
as a high schooler, and then once you discovered this confidence?
It's not so much discovering the confidence as much as you get confidence as you discover things. Yeah. But I started growing, the world opens up in different ways. I mean, just the fact of doing musicals and dancing and singing, I took guitar and would sing a little, but was a little too shy about it. And then, to sing it, to dance and put on makeup, and it was just very weird from where I came from. It wasn't something I had any desire to do, and, I used to love going to movies, but, I would just love seeing, like, the Beatles movies and anything that Clint Eastwood was in. And then you start developing in different worlds. You say, well, I would like to play that kind. I would like to play a doctor. I would like to play this. So you start using your imagination more and exploring more, and at the same time you're growing as a human being, and your life starts opening up. So the combination of the two, just really a lot of things unfold.
I'm sorry, I was monopolizing it.
Going back to what you were saying earlier about you are much more comfortable about the locations and not whining, that you're not playing the actor role anymore. Is that because you're more comfortable with your fame, and because before you were sort of you were known but not known, but now you're Ray Liotta, everybody knows you. So is that because it comes with you're comfortable with your career and doing your thing?
That maybe that the things are starting to happen. Have been progressing over a period of time. I'm at the age now where a lot of people, I'm in my higher 30s, and you see, I have a lot of friends. I just had a friend come over the other day who just turned 50, and his career isn't going. For a while it was going great guns, and all of a sudden it's kind of like disappeared. And you realize how fragile life is, not to get too philosophical, but you see what's important, what's not. I used to hate these things. I used to play the actor thing. You come in hungover and you stay up late just in spite of, and it's like, so a junk at these stupid questions. Hey, you want to get the movie out? You want people to come to see the movie? So you're nice, you're pleasant, you answer the questions, you move on, you go home, and then you get drunk. No, just joking.
But you really don't have to do these kinds of things. There are a lot of actors that don't.
Yeah.
So why?
Hopefully, why? Because I'm not to the point now where just my name above a title will ensure that people will come. So the more, if you build it, they will come. The more you get out there and let people know, I'm saying it's part of it. It helps the studio. The studio likes it. I'll play the game that needs to be played. All of a sudden you start asking me about, girlfriend, personal, where you live. That's a whole different story. I'll go so far with it, but it's just part of what it is.
Do you feel more of a responsibility now? Is there more responsibility to the film and the film's success?
No, because I've always done these things. I've always, not done them, I might have had more of a defensive attitude at times, but, you learn how to do it.
Was there a point in your career where when you start getting famous, when you just go crazy, that freshman year of fame, or you just
No, because mine's been a really slow. I was on a soap opera for 3 years, so I had a soap opera kind of popularity, and then for 5 years nothing happened. So then you gain an appreciation and enlightenment of what's important, what's not. And then this is only my 9th movie. It's not as if I've, and I've only done, it's only like one a year. So it's been a slow, it's been a slow, gradual kind of thing. It's not as if like all of a sudden one day I was in a $100 million movie at 23 years old and it's like, whoa, let's go. And, I have more of an appreciation for things because of the time it's taken.
What do you think the price of fame is? The positives and the negatives?
Well, the positive is, aside from the cliche, the restaurant thing, which is true, you meet a lot of nice people. You get to go to, acting is really fun. To play make-believe for a living is fun. The business part of this is horrible. But the doing it of itself is that, it's a fun way to make a living, and I haven't had a downside because I've never been that huge, Michael Jackson famous, where I guess there are certain times where you go to certain areas of the country where it's a lot, it's a lot more concentrated, and that would probably be the only negative that I could think of right now if there was one.
And nothing like autograph stickers in the bathrooms or something. That's
well, no, yes, and you know what? There was a period of time where people would start coming over to the house out of the blue, and because of some of the negative things that have happened and people getting injured and hurt and to the point of being killed, that would probably be the biggest negative, but you learn to take care of that and learn how to deal with it. It's happened a few times.
I would imagine that you've played enough edgy characters in film that people might think twice before surging up to you with their pen and a piece of paper, and you might just stare them down. Are people maybe surprised when they meet you in person? Or?
So sometimes, yeah.
What do they expect?
But that, I guess the typical, I think people think that if you play it, that's who you are, that's your personality, and that isn't necessarily true. It might be a part that could come out at certain times, but no more or less than you or anybody else has inside.
But do you think that changed since you've been doing family films like Acclaimed and this?
I think it's changing, yeah. I mean, I knew it all the time, but it takes a while, everybody has their perceptions of who they think you are based on what they've seen. Because certain people like action movies, so they think you're action dude if you do an action movie. And then some people like mafia movies, and so the family who like family entertainment, we're going to stay away from a mafia movie. So I've been lucky enough to do kind of different types of movies, so there's different types of people, different perceptions, where on the street someone will just say, I like No Escape, and not know about, and then there'll somebody say, just Karina, so there's different.
That will never encourage.
Not at all. I don't think anybody is, except for maybe Sylvester Stallone or what. I don't even think he is. I don't know.
Speaking of Sylvester, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of Stallone, we did an interview with him a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about how, being in the position that he is in, he never knows when someone who wants to be with him, in a relationship is looking to just, get a free publicity, or as he said, a meal ticket, or if they, they really want to be well acquainted with him, and it's a kind of a fearsome thing to be introduced into a whole new circle of people. Do you find that in people who want to strike up relationships with you?
I'm in a relationship, so I don't have that worry anymore. I'm with somebody, it's somebody I want to stay with, so I don't have to, I don't know, what choices he makes and the people that he chooses to go with. I think eventually with anybody or anything, if you take it slow and give it, let it, if it seems like it's something that you want to deal with over a period of time, it'll come out in the wash what someone's intentions are.
What about people just want to be your friend? They just want a little piece of you, are you able to, do you have a bullshit detector? I mean, you can tell when people are really perhaps worth your effort to get to know as a friend, and when people just want to sort of bask in it.
Well, I have friends, my best friends are still people from I'll have acquaintances now, but I still hang out with the guys from kindergarten. I go home every year and for New Year's and around Christmas time and hang out with my friends that I've known forever. So my friends are friends that I've had over a long period of time. The older you get, I think the chances of developing a lifelong friend are lessened just because a lot of things have already been established. Along the way, I consider a friend now, through this movie, I think Dennis Leary is someone I like hanging out with, and I think, we're friends, so to speak. But yeah, you tend to know, I would think, just, no different than anybody else, when somebody wants something from me and when they don't.
Do you have an upcoming project that you're working on?
Yeah, I just finished a week ago this movie called Unforgettable, is the title now, with Linda Fiorentino, that John Dahl directed, who did The Last Seduction. Just finished that. It's a pretty intense, tripping movie about I play a medical examiner whose wife has been murdered. We don't know who did it, and through this formula that Linda has developed, you're able to inject a needle into somebody's brain and get their memory out. Obviously, it's pretty out there. And then you inject it into yourself, and you're able to have their memory. And through this device, I'm able to unfold and find out who killed my wife. It's pretty cool.
What's Linda like to work with? I've wanted to meet her
She's
just
great.
based on interviews. She seems like a...
She's great. She's very straightforward. Very, talk about an image that, she has this sexy kind of this. She's such a nerd in this movie. And to me, this is the real her. I've seen her on this set. It's amazing the power of the images of, obviously she has that side to her whatnot, but she's just really sweet and vulnerable in this movie. She's really good in it, and it's just a whole different direction than what people know her as.
It's hard to imagine after the last seduction.
Excuse me?
It's hard to imagine.
I know, it will be, but I'm telling you, she's a nerd in this one.